Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel and to another edition of the Hard Truth Show. Guys, we are on stream number 58, and I clicked the thumbnail up a little too quick, but tonight we're going to be talking about the curious case of the passing away of the masses around the world. I know it's a really long, drawn-out title tonight, but I thought about how I can say this so that I don't get in trouble with the algorithm. I don't get in trouble talking about you-know-what, because I'm currently got a community guideline strike active on this particular channel right now. So I want to definitely play it cool, and shout out to everyone new that is coming to the channel. I know we're picking up some subscribers lately. Guys, this year you can plan to see me in the studio late nights before Sabbath, and on new moon days, I'm probably still going to do the stream at 12 o'clock Eastern time, but I'm going to pop on here nights between probably 7 to 9. I don't know exactly. Just be prepared, because I kind of try to set a tentative time, but I just don't like being stuck to a time anymore. Like, we're going to do this year on cruise control, and I know we're still on the pagan year right now, but this year coming up, scriptural new year in the spring, I'm going to take this year on cruise control and everything. Business, relationships, finances, the works, man. I ain't going to add one more gray hair this year if I don't have to in this beard. All right. And so for those that have missed the show, and I got to update the playlist tab. Last stream I talked about, are you prepared for the next world economic downturn and collapse? Because, I mean, they're definitely going to work toward that end here in the year ahead. And then, of course, during the pagan holiday of Saturn Elia, if you want to look that up, which also is called Christ Mass nowadays. We broke that down in the deep diving in the pagan origins of Christmas, which I thought was a great stream. And the last one before that covered freedom of telling the facts of being silenced now, which, bro, it is being silenced. Like, tell you what, there's some big YouTubers out there, big YouTubers out there, and their voices are being silenced. Silencia. Let me see here. I'm going to do a shout out for our channel affiliates later on in the stream. I will say this, guys, make sure to check me out over on Odyssey. That is over there where my all-time high playlist is over there. And you can definitely check that out over there. And guys, also Black Flag Crypto Mining here on YouTube. You can check out that channel. And also a family-friendly channel, Adventures and Bricks, doing that now. So you can check that out over there too. And I'm also using that as a test drive to see just how quickly I can grow a channel in comparison to a true channel being silenced like this one. Shalom, much love to everybody. Absolutely, that's right, Dave the Messenger. Keep the 10 words, keep those 10 commands, my man. Shalom to everybody. Yes, you caught alive. Sent you a Gmail, buddy. Could really use advice on something. Civic Guy 2005. Please bear with me. Tomorrow is Sabbath. I will try to read some emails that people sent out to me and catch up. I almost got my email box caught up. I'm about a lot behind, but I'm about caught up. Okay, I'll just put it like that because I don't want to be lying on here. All right. Just bear with me, please. All right. So now tonight, I don't have a slideshow. I want to premise this in like 3 sections. Number one, I just want to say my piece. Secondly, is I want to point out the obvious. And lastly, and when I say point out the obvious, I'm going to throw statistics up there, information. And thirdly, is I want to point to where this is going to head. Okay. And with all that said, this is not a medical video. This is not medical advice. We are not talking about anything medical. We are not talking about anything to do with what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing in the point of giving medical advice. This is an observation of just life. I want to premise that because I'm going to be really upset if this video gets pulled, okay? Because we're going to be deep diving in the best way I can to talk in subliminal messages and not talk about the obvious. If y'all don't know what the obvious is, if you didn't live in the past 2.5 years, then I don't know if you'll ever understand what the obvious is, okay? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, like we're really banned from talking about things on here anymore, okay? And like I said, I already have one community guideline strike. And if you'd like to go over an Odyssey, you would see that I got that community guideline strike for a 2-minute shout out for a documentary. to which if I speak the name, I'm worried I'm going to be shadow banned and get another community guidelines strike. All right. So part one of this, and like I said, guys, I've got stats and all sorts of stuff, screen share in a minute on this stuff. Okay. Just bear with me. But I want to speak my piece on this. From the time of late 2019 to now, I've traveled extensively. I now am no longer in business, and I work at a factory and manage it, about 40 guys on a line building tiny homes. And I'm local here in Tennessee, and I'm home now. Praise y'all. And I can be with my wife and my daughter and my son. And my mom and dad take care of my family and the farm. It's just been great. All praises. All praises most high y'all. Glory be unto him. Thank you. But in my time that I traveled, I have seen how this world is deteriorating. And in my travels between Europe and Mexico and America and other places, and now looking reverse, rewind, and then looking at it up to now, it has just been unbelievable at the change up of how the dynamics of freedom and everything has went. And as I look at this and I digest this information and I compare it to the past, I am seeing a trend moving forward that this is only the beginning. Okay. And I knew at the time that I had this really deep gut feeling at the time that we would be moving in a direction that we're headed. My problem is I didn't see the mechanism by which it would go that way. I didn't know it was going to be the medical industrial complex. I didn't know it was going to be the climate industrial complex. Right now is the new kicker, is all this climate change, and we're damaging the climate, stuff like that. That's the current circus sideshow. It was Ukraine, and then before that it was that which I may not speak. That, like I said, if you live in 2.5 years, you know what I'm discussing right now. And I watch so many people give up their individual liberty of their soul. What we have to consider upon is that there was something that was surrendered by people in the past 2.5 years that is so precious that I think many people now, 2.5 years later, coming to clarity into their senses and understanding what they've lost and what has been taken from them, I think it has really become crystal clear to many, I messed up. What's really sad is that people's coming to the realization of just how much they messed up, that people that's tried to warn them and now has expressed to them, man, you did mess up, are being silenced. And the reason of the silencing is because this conspiracy, and I label it a conspiracy right now because that's what it's going to be called, regardless if I have sound doctrinal fact, which I do. This ministry, this preparedness channel, this YouTube channel. Okay, I have 3 other YouTubes that I'm working on. Which, by the way, Adventures in Bricks got monetized the other day. I mean, already monetized. It's just crazy to me. Like, you do other things, and it's just like pop, pop, pop. But I'm actually over here trying to build for the kingdom, and it's just a struggle uphill, which tells you you're obviously trying to do something right. But I look at all that's going on in the massive silencing of people, where we're headed, and it makes me sad. Wonder why this channel isn't on Rumble. Guys, I just chose to go to Odyssey. Hey, much love, shalom to everybody. Hey, got folks in the house from Florida all over. Yep. And when we look at the situation, the conspiracy, how deep it is, and I'm going to continue to label it conspiracy, as I said, when you decompress that and you see how many people are involved in this, it's really, really sad, because things like this was planned. This has been planned for a long minute. And I guess that's also a very sickening thing, is how that you look at so many agendas, how that they've been set in motion. Some things are years, some things are decades, some things are generational. I mean, like, this stuff's been in the works for a long minute. That is a terrifying thought just in and of itself. Moving forward, I'm going to be tested again. You're going to be tested again. The first time through, we were under a conspiracy of biblical proportions. This is the current comment of the night. Barbara Havens, shout out to you. Oh, and by the way, guys, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please share this on social media. Okay. And if you want to donate, links in the video description below. And hey, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier. Go squirrel on you a second, but I'll be speaking. It's next week at the Jeremiah Conference 23-3. And let me take the banner down for a second so you can see that better right there. The venue's Unity Worship, and it's in Cartersville, Georgia. You can check out more on that at Boom Church. INT, I believe that is INT.org. I'm so sorry, guys. I couldn't blow that banner up larger. But I'm looking forward to that. Very excited about that. But that is coming up too, and I forgot to mention that. But we're going to be tested again. You're going to be asked to submit again. And I have no interest in complying this time through, just as I did in the first time through. Matter of fact, I'm going to be even more obstinate. And the problem that I don't know what's happened to me. I worry that I've changed as a person, because I just feel this intensity inside of me anymore, unlike what I used to. Like, I'm to the point now where this go along to get along demeanor, it's just leaving me. It's like, oh, you want to go to the sword? I'll go to the sword with you right now. Let's do it. And I want to be peaceful with all man, but it is getting hard to be there. And yes, that right there is a great comment too, especially being that the government was able to do what they did. Yeah, listen, guys, it's the Second Amendment, your Fourth Amendment right. A lot of these rights, you don't even need to worry about it anymore. What the last couple years should have taught you is everything from Nazi Germany's Gestapo methods that your neighbor will sell you out because you didn't do you know what. The fact that you didn't go along to get along, the fact that everybody around you did something, and now a lot of people regret it, should be a massive wake up to you that, oh my gosh, if this went down the first time, imagine the insanity of the next time through. And I'm trying to have a relaxed, casual conversation with you about this tonight, because now, where I used to get, you can see in videos I done almost a decade ago, I was really worked up. And the more and more time spent in scripture, the more and more time sit and meditate upon these things and focus upon it, there's no reason to really get upset anymore, because what will be will be. The important thing is we need to be mindful of what is to come. Because now, I've said this, I don't know how many times over the years, and I don't have a trademark or copyright patent on this, all right? But it's just like Luke quotes, all right, 7 Trumpets Prepper quotes, is that I've noticed with Satan's kingdom, it always starts with enticement. And then it's, bribery, and then it's coercing, and then it's extortion, and then it's under pain of suffering, and then it's under pain of death. Satan's kingdom is it's like a pain meter. And it's like, if you can't get them here, you keep turning the heat up until eventually they cave. Or you're like the three Hebrew children, and they tell you to pretty much go take a flying leap. They ain't bending the knee, and then you end up in the furnace of affliction. And that's kind of where we're headed, is a lot of suffering. Yes, too many people are dying. I believe this is the big test from y'all. His test to see who is going with the devil and who's rejecting that. Yeah, and guys, I want to read some of y'all's comments, but I cannot read them. I can't read them. All right, I'm sorry. But thereafter, the life is in the blood. Okay, if it is not obvious what I'm talking about tonight, Scripture talks about that the life is in the blood. And, all we have to do is open up the Torah and read that. And if you don't see the intense reality that we are facing moving forward is that I thought we would have to, there's so many scenarios I thought would play out. And now it is so crystal clear to me that they're after my temple. They're literally after my temple. If we don't understand and see that we are living in the days of Noah, I want to go squirrel just for 1 second, another conspiracy that I can actually talk about. I seen on TikTok recently. Now, guys, I don't do TikTok. All right. It's the YouTube channel is not NIGHT GOD 333. Okay. This is the channel that he shared it on. And this guy's driving down the road and you see this giant standing on a mountaintop. And when I say see a giant, guys, I got vision problems. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses. I don't. I refuse to. And this giant was standing on a mountaintop. And the guy zooms in. And you see this guy or this thing standing on a mountaintop. And then the guy goes to investigate it. And like black car, unmarked thing. The police officer or whatever tells him to leave. You can't go up here and check it out. The locals say that there's giants there. And then the guy does a very weird, mysterious TikTok, says, everything he done was fake, blah, blah, don't believe him. And then he goes on TikTok again, says it's all legit, blah, blah. And then he ends up in the obituaries because he talked about this and exposed a bunch of this stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're living in an interesting time where that as of the days of Noah, so shall the coming Son of Man be. In Noah's day, people's DNA was all wacky-jacky. Animals were wacky-jacky. There was giants, Nephilim in those days, all right? Seed of the fallen angels mixed with a woman's flesh. And I'm just going to tell you that I've only been on this flat geostationary earth with waters above and waters below under a firmament dome, right? Check out my mouse pad. By the way, here you go. Got my azimuthal equidistant map for mouse pad now. Shout out to China Mart. They hooked me up there. And we are living in a situation now that in the 37 years of my life that it is finally crystal clear to me that we are in the last days. Now, years ago when I first started this channel, and guys, I'm going to get into the second part of this where we're actually looking at some websites and stuff. Like I said, I want to say my piece on this. As I haven't just really unloaded, this is my unload, is that and I'm gonna post your comments up here just a second about that giant video, but I just want to say this, is that I have never in my life actually just felt such a confirmation where we're at, just like the river Euphrates starting to dry up. Like, it is so crystal clear to me now. And not only that, it's so vindicating and validating. Like, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not a person that's got to be like, oh, I got to be validated. I got to be looked at. I got to be listened to. Like, I have just done this channel for going on now 13 years. And now it's just finally, what I would say is up there, and whether somebody listens, one person listens or nobody listens, I've put it out there where you can go find a lot of truths. But man, there is just so much that has happened in just these recent years that I'm like, wow, this is finally it. This is finally validation. And what's amazing to me is people that I would consider pagan, don't care about the Most High, blah, blah, blah. They are just literally acknowledging this stuff themselves, going back about their business, but acknowledging this stuff. And right here, I want to share this comment I've seen right here. I saw the same giant video. Dude was killed after he released another video saying it was a hoax. I think it was real footage. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see a lot more wild things transpire in the years ahead. I mean, we're going to see things that people just, it's going to, we're actually talking about tonight, and you'll see in this I'm about to share in just moments from now, is how people's hearts are failing them and everything else. And I'm going to tell you what, there's going to be men's hearts failing them for the signs of the sights of the things that's coming up on this earth, for one. But they're also failing them now for choices they made for the past 2.5 years to listen to people and do things they shouldn't have done. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be really upset this video gets took down, because I have literally talked in generalizations for 21 minutes live. I mean, literally in generalizations. All right. So with that said, that was my piece. I'm just going to lay it at your feet, and everybody can make their own decisions on this. Is that if you look at what Revelation 16 says, if you look at what the book of Matthew says, if you look at all the things that are going on right now, hey, shalom to everybody coming in the building. Much love, y'all. Yeah, that's a great comment right there too. They are about to make that right there normal. Absolutely. Yeah. We have got to understand that you can't make this stuff up anymore. Like people will be like, well, you're just a doomsdayer, and you just want bad things to happen, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to tell you what, whether you want it to happen or whether you don't want it to happen, I'll tell you this. You better get prepared, because you cannot dismiss it no more. Like, if you want to believe that we're not in the last days, you do you, boo. But just know that when the newspaper ad comes out, or the newspaper gets laid on your doorstep tomorrow morning, it says the River Euphrates is drying up, we only got dropped that memo like 2 millennia ago. So yeah, shout out to you, right? All right. So moving on to my second point and the core of this stream tonight. Now, as I present this, once again, this will be presented in generalizations. You have to take this and discern this for yourself, okay? Because I'm just constantly in hot water anymore when I speak on this particular topic. All right, so with that said, now, guys, I won't see your comments for a bit, so just bear with me, all right, because I'm in screen share mode. So the first thing I want to point out is this is from mayoclinic.org. Once again, this is not medical advice, nor am I issuing any medical statements, nor am I encouraging anyone to make any medical decisions. The following is news presented on this channel and reference material where people can go to find their information and make their own sound decisions. There's my blanket statement. I'm going to keep hammering it tonight because I better not get this video took down. Whew. All right, so mayoclinic.org, which is, to me, a respected entity, okay? I mean, Mayo Clinic's been brought up I don't know how many times by many, many respected people out there in the world, all right? And, I'm an electrician by trade, so, I'm not going to be making any medical statements anyway. But what I would read to you is that from the information that's out there is that sudden death in young people, because there's so many people of the masses going missing now. And when I say missing, I mean they're deleted out. They're not with us anymore. And the question bears out is why in these past couple of years has there just been such a loss of life? Why is there so many young people gone? Why is there so many elderly people gone? Why is there so many middle-aged people gone? Like it's just everybody. And it's all of us know somebody that it's happened to. If you don't, I'd be shocked. If you know multiple people, I wouldn't even be shocked at all at this point. And it says sudden death in young people, heart problems often blamed. Sudden death in young people is rare. Please note the following. I hope when I highlight this screen, you see this right here. This is from the Mayo Clinic. Sudden death in young people is rare. But those at risk can take precautions. Find out more about the risk factors, causes, and treatments. All right, now I'm going to read this down through. Sudden cardiac death is the swift and unexpected ending of all heart activity. Breathing, blood flow stop right away. Within seconds, the person becomes unconscious and dies. All right. Now, sudden cardiac death in seemingly healthy people under age 35 is rare. Now, I'm 37. Okay. My heart rate right now is 91 beats, 89. It's dropping. Okay. I'm pretty worked up. I'm agitated. I ain't going to lie, just talking about this. But I'm trying to take care of my heart, and I encourage everyone to take care of their heart. But right here, it goes on to talk about how common is cardiac death in young people. Now, unless you're Bill Gates, where you're sitting in a picture and behind you is how to lie with statistics. Lucas actually has a scripture behind me. What do I got here? I got a menorah. I got my Lego sports cars, because I can't exactly own like a McLaren Elva. I mean, that's like $1.7 million, so I can at least own the little model. I got my ships behind me, golf, books, histories, information about the Bible, my Easton Press books, but I don't have like garbage back here that tells me how to lie with statistics or things like that. I actually have things that could help me help others, you know? So I think when I start talking about statistics, I think I'll actually be legit. You know, so when I read this next statement, it says to me, most sudden cardiac deaths are in older adults, particularly those with heart disease. Okay. Yet sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in young athletes. All right. Now that's interesting. All right. Because we're going to do, so I dug deeper. All right. I was like, all right, let me go check out. Estimates vary, but some reports suggest that about 1 in 50,000 to 1 in 80,000 young athletes die of sudden cardiac death each year. Now, listen, guys, I'm not trying to be a tool bag here. I'm really trying to be legit with you when I read this. I've got to read this again because I want it to be heard by those in the back that are naysayers. It says, most sudden cardiac deaths are in older adults, particularly those with heart disease. Pause. All right, so that carves that off. Yet sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in young athletes. Pause. So that tells me if I'm looking for something bad to happen to an athlete, I need to plan for the fact that that is going to be the exact cause. All right. Estimates vary, but some reports suggest that about 1 in 50,000, which is very rare, to 1 in 80,000, which is way out there. I mean, we're scratching a lotto ticket at this point. Young athletes die of sudden cardiac death each year. Now, let me pop over to StreamYard for just a second. I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything. People dropping like fries around the world. Athletes in top condition. Yep, love Faye. We're about to go right into that. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Fair use for educational purposes. That's right, baby. Fair use. And let me see here. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. Oh, yeah. And my body, my choice, boy. We're going to be hammering that here in just a second, too. Just bear with me. All right. Now, back to point. All right. So as you go down through here, now, when we look at this, the last point I want to make is that as I studied this and looked at this, here's what it says can be the cause of these people going out. A heart structure problem present at birth. So we'll scratch that because most people, they're athletic. They're not going to be out there doing that even if they had that, right? So blunt chest injury, heart rhythm disorder, and thickened heart muscle. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Oh my goodness, praise you, Father y'all, that there is skilled doctors because I am not interested in that business. Whew, these terms. All right, so I'm going to widen the screen out for a second. And what we have right here is from another website. Now, the following is fair use. I am not saying one thing left or right toward any of these people, a diagnosis. I am not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I am just sharing statistics of reports of people and the dates. Now, what I also want to share with you here is that unlike Mr. Bill Gates, or Kill Gates, as people would like to call him, when you start running these numbers and these ages of these people, what you will see based on Mayo Clinic is you're going to see anomalies, especially within the past couple of years. These anomalies bother me. And not only this, what bothers me is the consistency of said anomalies. Once again, the following is not a medical diagnosis. I'm not a doctor. I'm not making a diagnosis of these people's conditions post-mortem. I am not a doctor. All right, so here we go. I'm not going to read these names, bro. Like, I am not reading these names. What the flip? But anyway, if you look at what happened, these people, now the MMA fighter, please know that that was during training. All right. Now you can click on these and go to the news articles. All right. And I'm not going to do that either. We're going to just run down this list. What do we got here? Football game abandoned after player collapses on field. World tennis number 22 forced to quit Australian Open after clutching chest and being out of breath. Myocarditis. All right. Can't say that. Possible end of career. Suffers heart attack during training. Collapses during game due to heart attack. Passes away. Dies in the middle of a game. Heart attack suspected. Collapses during training. Passes away due to heart failure. Ends career due to cardiac issues. I'm just picking some of these out. Collapses on mid-court game or on court mid-game. taking off pitch after pointing to chest. Midfielder collapses during game. Suffers cardiac arrest during night trial. Passes away. Please look at these ages. Folks, I'm a dinosaur compared to some of these people's ages. Man, I mean, these people are half in diapers, some of these, compared to my age. 22. I've almost lived double this dude's life, forced to end his cycling career after developing heart problems. Can't say the rest. Dies suddenly. Died in hospital after suffering heart attack. World record holder in static breath holding freediver diagnosed with myocarditis. Can't say that. This is killing me because, like, I have to literally stop in the middle of words because I can't say certain things on here. Passed away unexpectedly due to heart attack. I swear I'm gonna keep going with this. Like, just look at the. Oh, here's somebody my age. Passed away due to heart attack following game. Once again, keep up with the ages. And look, this is all over the world, folks. This is just all over the world. Suffers cardiac arrest during training. Oh, whoa, hold up. Where was that? It said Olympic. Man, this thing is just going wild on the scroll. Right here. Olympic silver medalist diver unexpectedly passes away. Man. Let's see. Career over due to blood clots. Dies from cardiovascular issues. Collapses during golf game. I'm going to tell y'all what. I love me some golf. I ain't never collapsed out in the golf course. Let me tell you, I can't get enough of the golf course. So I'm telling you, that right there is a red flag to me. Red flag to me. All right, let me see here. Out for season due to blood clots. Let me see. Let me go. Now, keep in mind, all these have articles attached where you can go check out, Sports World News, all these things, right? Right. Like this is great. Italian professional football player in season due to heart disorder. Dude's 20. The flip. Oh, man. All right, let me get on down here. Oh, there's certain words. Got to get past them quick. Let me see. Dies after heart attack at practice. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. It just goes and goes and goes. And look at the dates as they climbed up the thing. I mean, they're just continuing to be shared. All right, now let me get off that because I don't want to get in trouble here. Woo. Hopefully that one will skip the algorithm. All right, let me scroll up the comments for just a second in here and see what some folks said up in the building, and then we're going to send a shout out. Let me see. Oh, man. Let me see. Yeah. This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't say that. That's the thing. I can't answer that question. But just take and assume the obvious. That's what I'm saying. That's insane. All young people. Yeah, Tess. And that's exactly my point in case that I wanted to put here before you and lay before y'all's feet tonight is when I said, okay, I went back. Hey, Shalom. Much love to everybody that's continuing to pour in the building. Let me do this. Let me pause real quick. I'm just going to send a couple shout outs tonight here for the folks that help the channel. And I'm going to keep it real quick. Guys, make sure to check out Mirror Safety. If you're needing anything for nuclear, biological, chemical protection, guys, links in the video description below. Faraday Defense. If you haven't got EMP systems, to shield your stuff from EMP shield or anything like that, make sure to check out Faraday. They've got a bunch of stuff as far as just putting your items in a shielded area. Battle Box, guys, if you haven't checked out Battle Box, get your first Battle Box at 7 Trumpets prep or 7 Trumpets and then the number 15 to get 15% off. All right. And keeping this real short and sweet tonight. If you haven't checked out KingdomMindedCo, make sure to check it out. My wife makes some great t-shirts over there, and you can check that out as well. She's got a whole bunch of different designs, and I think she said she's going to be doing an update on that or something coming up on the website and everything. All right. So my next thing that I want to point out is this. I'm not a person to be like, I told you so, sucker, and be, hateful and petty. But as I get older, I'm feeling a little more petty. And I have told people that was hateful to me, or people that's hateful for, I will call them on the carpet now. Let me just put it that way. And when you look at the situation, I said back when Roe v. Wade got overturned, I said, really? I said, really? Y'all think that the government caught a conscience? Y'all really think the government caught a conscience? And all of a sudden that we just want to say babies. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? No, this is about my body, my choice. Now, I'm not going to say as to what that means as far as is that this or is that that. When I speak my body, my choice, I mean this temple of Yah, the Most High Yah gave me this temple to worship in and live in, right? And have a conscience and exist and build things and live, right? And worship. This is what they're after now. It is. They don't need to herd you up and take you to a FEMA camp. I just, all this crap that I thought, oh wow, this is how it's going to go down. Like I was wrong on some stuff. Like, dang, you really don't need to go anywhere. You can keep locked up in your domicile and they can just keep doing to you whatever they want to now at this point. Like most people willingly just do whatever they ask. It's insane. And, what we're looking at right now is playing out as I told people, because I don't have this article in front of me. I've shared it before. Is if you look back, you've got to Google it, because it was like 3 days later. I think it was only 72 hours later after Roe v. Wade got overturned, that in New York, you were no longer allowed. The mandate got upheld in New York for workers, that you no longer could say, in response to not wanting to take something, which I can't speak on, that it could not be a religious exemption anymore. And right here, absolutely. That right there is on point. Said, we sounded the trumpet loud and clear. Woe to those that ignored it and are now suffering. Thus far from family didn't listen or okay. I pray for them every day that y'all continue to show them mercy. And absolutely, I tell you what, I hope Most High has mercy on people, because I'm going to tell you what, it's terrible what I've seen happen to people post this. And I don't know what is next, because this one caught me off guard when it happened, because there is multiple things that I've said to myself that I'm like, the following wouldn't happen, X, Y, and Z. The following things wouldn't happen. And the following things did happen. And that's like, an EMP won't happen, or a PANDEMIC. I think I spanned that out so the algorithm wouldn't catch that one. Nuclear war. Guys, I understand what you're saying in the comments. I cannot share some of these comments on the screen because of just certain words that's in them. But there is like a cyber attack on the electrical grid. There was about like a handful, 4 or 5 things, and I'm just like, I'm going to discount the fact that these will happen. Not that I can't try to prepare for it, but there is so many things that I am certain will happen. I will focus my energies on preparing for that the best I can and just let it ride. And now here, one of the things that I had on my list that I was like, I'm just not going to worry about, it happened in a sense. Now we really have a PANDEMIC of certain individuals that done a certain thing. Now we really do have that, in my opinion. And you're going to see something in the future where that I think it's going to be shock and awe compared to what we just went through. I mean, the next time through, they've got their ducks in a row. Come back to the my body, my choice thing in just a second. When this all went down the first time, bro, if you don't want to, like, for me, I'm in hermit mode anymore. So I actually like being home. I used to travel the country and make a ton of money, and now I stay at home. Like, I just work a normal job like every other Joe Blow. But, I mean, I used to travel all the time, and it was great. But now I just want to be home. And I'm fine with just DoorDash me some food or drop off my groceries or drop off my UPS and just go. But this next time around, they figured that out. I think I heard somebody tell me recently that the next time through, they're going to try to clamp down to where that you can't even DoorDash if you've not complied to certain things. Does anybody have a link to that article that knows what I'm talking about? Please share it in the comments. I would love to get a hold of that again. But then, yeah, and another thing, you have intentional shortages of food and water and things like that coming up. And it is just plumb crazy what is going on out here. But I look back and I think about how many people just done one decision in the past couple of years, and how many people I know are in suffering of health or are no longer with us. That is disturbing. And that is my point in case about all this tonight, is that I was, I can't remember exactly what I was doing at the time, but it came on the news and a journalist dropped dead during the soccer championship thing or whatever. A journalist, while he was sitting there journaling it, died. And I'm like, it's not just the athletes, it's the people covering the sports. And all this, it just kind of like came to me as I was thinking about this stuff. Because I think I told you guys last week that last stream I was going to probably focus on the River Euphrates that's coming upstream, and the next one I actually will. But I just wanted to point this out, that like my mind is firmly stayed up on the kingdom. And another thing, much love to you, Jason, as well, brother. I tell you what, I just want to get the word out to the people. I'm going to keep doing what I can. But I am not moving away from where I'm at with it. Like, this is the thing. I want each and every one of you listening to me that did not cave in to understand two things. Number one, you can never be called a coward, because you've done something that most people couldn't even stand up for themselves and say, I will not comply. Second thing is, you can take comfort in the fact that you said no the first time almost indefinitely means that if you have the Spirit of Yah on you, that you will not do it the second time. James Price, thank you. Shout out to you. The World Cup, it was when that happened. Yeah, okay. I thought so on that. But anyway, just crazy stuff. But guys, this is only the beginning. Like, I don't know what the next time exactly will look like, but man, it is going to be a show to see. And you got to understand that people, I guess one of the last points I would make on all this is, as calmly and professionally as I can state this, is that people that said, well, I gave in last time, but I'm not going to do it again. Bro, you're going to do it again. You're going to do it again and again and again. And you're going to bend the knee, and you're going to do whatever they tell you to do. Because in my book, you already done it once. Why the flip wouldn't you do it again? Sell me. Sell me on why you wouldn't. And if you don't have a plan to exit out of this system, you need to definitely be organizing a plan to exit. Because my hope, my literal hope, is that this thing collapses fast. Like when Rome began to fall apart, I believe it was Cicero that quoted, the closer to a collapse of an empire, the worse, the crazier its laws become, or something to that effect. I'm just summarizing. And we are getting draconian laws put into place left and right anymore. Like literally, you just breathing right now and watching YouTube probably is breaking a law somewhere. It's just getting stupid out here. And where I'm at with it anymore is you got to understand, I'm a libertarian. In a political viewpoint, I'm a libertarian. I want people to do you do you, but don't bother me, because I'm gonna serve y'all. You go do whatever you want. You're gonna get judged for that. But I'm gonna do my best to serve most of y'all. And but we're getting to a point where you got to understand that they're going to have us be servants. There's only going to be those at the top and everyone else at the bottom. Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, garbage. these next years ahead, they're intent on breaking everyone. And you got to understand something. You got to break people financially. Like, you've literally got to break people down financially, because if you do that, then it doesn't matter really much beyond that, because if you don't have what I label a war chest, if you don't have the ability to say, you know what, forget you, I'm not going to do this. A lot of people were put in a position where that their employer, just their employer, was used as the long arm of, gosh, entities that didn't want the best for you. And so that employer tells said employees, if you don't do said thing, you won't have employment anymore. And so a lot of people, their livelihood hinged on that employer. So they didn't have another option. They had to give in. And that is the concern for me, is that the next time through, people will be exploited again, because they've already learned how to exploit people the first time through. And it's going to take the Most High Yah to reset this thing. And there ain't going to be no great reset in a good way. It's going to be a bad way. For the great reset I'm looking for is the new kingdom. I really, really, really look forward to it. There's so much I want to enjoy and do in the meantime. But I'm more than happy to submit to the new kingdom. Like, bring it on. But the thing is, there's going to be a lot of darkness and dark days in between there. And this has been a great testing for many people. And as I've said before, you look at how many people, when this all went down, is that they were strong and mighty and twice my stature and strength, and just bent over and bowed the knee. And I was like, wow. I was like, it was a real eye-opener to me, because I've always looked at strength in people by physical stamina and things like that, and not so much mental. And in the past couple of years, I've really, really started focusing on the mental capacity of humanity and self-awareness, and, having enough wisdom to say no. In business, before I stopped doing business, one of the hardest things I ever done in business was be able to tell people no. Nowadays, I'll tell you no straight up. No, I'm not coming back out to work. No, I'm not putting a wind turbine up for you. No, I'm not putting panels on your house, and I have no interest, not today, not tomorrow, not evermore. Done. Best to you. But years ago, no, I would be like, go out in the middle of Timbuktu to bolt you down. And we need to get to the point in the years ahead, and I would just honestly say in the months ahead, is to gear up to the point where you are firm about, when you tell people, no, I will not comply. No, you may not have access to my freedoms. In here. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I got to say this in generalizations. This is, you've come as far as you're going to go with me. And I hate it because, like Greta Thunberg, I think is that little troll? Can somebody please just help me out? Ain't Greta ain't that her name? The little troll that comes out from under the bridge for the World Economic Forum and talks about climate change and all that stuff. Please, somebody just put her name in there. I want to make sure I got that right before I go down this path. All right. And I'll talk about something else for just a minute while that somebody can drop me a line on that. I want to make sure I get her name exact. All right, somebody said exactly. Okay, I want to make sure. Yeah, Thunberg. Thank you. All right. Andrew Tate. Now, I'm not going to go into the MGTOW community and red pill and all that stuff tonight, but I just want to point out that Andrew Tate throwed a slap at her the other day. And it wasn't, I think, 2 hours later that the embassy was contacted where he was at. Yeah, get ready for this. And they said that some woman was reported being held against her will at Andrew Tate's residence, the best that I understand this. And he got hauled off to jail. Bro, the dude's got like millions of dollars in Bitcoin, well-to-do, public figure, and he's going to have some woman held up in his house. Are you kidding me? But let me tell you, they hauled him off. And that's what I'm saying is, you better understand that you're not untouchable. You know, I see people out here lately that so-called out here in ministry. This may be considered taking shots. I'm just pointing out the obvious. There is people out here I've seen in ministry, so many people in different walks that are puffed up. And I'm going to tell you what, when things start really ramping up and you think you've got a lot, you're up here. When they start going out and rounding up believers, they're going to knock some of these so-called teachers and elders and pastors and stuff like that down a few blocks, because they're going to show up on their doorstep first to start collecting. I'm just going to tell you, all right? And I'll just leave that at that, because there is certain elements out here and certain individuals and certain ministries that I will have no association with anymore, because their doctrine and their leadership and the stances people take and the things they say, I don't want no part with. I don't want no part with, because I'm going to tell you, somebody said her name is Gollum. Her name is Gollum. Gollum. Oh my gosh. Straight out Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh. Pride comes before the fall. That's right. And I'm going to tell you what, like there's just a lot of movements out here in the Torah community, that some of these so-called movements and people, it's toxic. But I'm going to tell you what is, I don't want to be near a big, massive group movement of things much anymore, because I'm going to tell you, when people start getting targeted, when groups start getting took out, when believers start getting rounded up, because let me tell you what the great whore Babylon Roman Catholic Church done in the Spanish Inquisition, you don't think that stuff gets repeated? Guys, there's nothing new under the sun. And I'm going to tell you what, when people start getting made an example out of, I don't care if you're Gentile convert to the truth and Torah keeper, or you're so-called Hebrew Israelite blood descendant, they're going to start coming and collecting, and they're going to start collecting groups and making examples out of them. So, I mean, folks, don't be surprised one day if they didn't cart me off. My hope is that when that time does come, that the Most High will be with me like he was with Jeremiah. I'm going to say this, and then I think I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to spend time with my wife. Is that my hope? And I was thinking about this. I was walking the line with the men at the Tiny House Factory, and random thought went into my mind. Yeah, absolutely, JD. You got it, brother. You got it. That's right. Much love to everybody in the building tonight. Love all of y'all. Tate is being re-educated. You better believe it. I bet they roughed him up a little bit too. But my thought is my hope is that I hope the Most High does me like Jeremiah, is Jeremiah the prophet, is when that Babylon came and they punished Israel. They literally let Jeremiah go, and he dwelt in the land in his own house. They're like, hey, this is the guy that said we were going to do this. This is the guy that said it was going to happen. And they just let him go and said, you know, it's just like Daniel. I just hope, you know, when all this goes on, that, you know, they just let me be at peace, because I've already suffered a ton of persecution over the years and mockery and stuff for just standing up and saying, what's up? And literally the things that I've told people for now over a decade are literally coming to pass before our very eyes. Facts. And when the 7 trumpets of Revelation start, it is going to be an honor if I can stay on here and stay alive. It is going to be an honor to be that guy that has told people for going on 2 days. I'm working on my 2nd decade now, that the 7 trumpets of Revelation are in this generation and are happening very soon. Because, you know, people might laugh. They're like, you've been saying this for 10 years. You've been saying this for 20 years. But bro, do you know that in the span of thousands of years, in the span of eternity, 20 years, 10 years, 10 minutes is a little drop of sand in a bucket. And we are witnessing things taking place at an insane ramp up of speed and proportion. What did they say right here? Oh, that is so true. Absolutely. Most of y'all can make you unseen. Absolutely. And And all praises to him. I'd love for the world to be blinded to me when the time comes to hide me. And y'all's people, people are being deleted left and right. Yeah. And you got to understand that we have to maintain a spirit of love and peace. And it's the last thing I'm going to say before I dip out of here is I do not want to be a violent person. Now, I'm not a coward. I'm going to tell you what, matter of fact, when the time comes, if I have to, I will be a nice guy by day, and I will literally at night don my a ghost face if I have to, which won't be a ghost face mask. It'll actually be my night vision sitting across from me, and I will go snatch souls in the night if I have to. If I have to. But I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be violent with anybody. I want to be peace and love with all mankind. And listen, I don't have any animosity toward anybody. I don't care what color melanin shade you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care if you're man or woman. To love all humanity and want to see everybody saved and enter in the kingdom. I don't want anybody to go to lake of fire. But you got to understand that I'm going to love people up to the point I can't love them. And it's like the guy, what was it, Killdozer? The guy that was, when he said I was reasonable until I could no longer be reasonable. And we're fast approaching that time. And when the buttons get pushed and you tell me that you're coming for the life in my blood, baby, you've crossed the line where Luke's switch can get flipped off. And it's not good. It's just not good. And, there years ago, literally, last thing I'm going to say is years ago, somebody tried to break in my house. I grabbed a firearm and I went out the door, guns blazing. I went through my neighborhood, guns blazing. I went back, got in my car, went up through my neighborhood driving, trying to chase them down, either run them over or shoot them. And I caught myself in the moment. I'm like, what am I doing here? Because, I've got to calm down. And had I went on through my neighborhood and done that and caught that person, I literally could have went to prison for probably the rest of my life for murder or something. And not only that, what was it? I think the only best thing I could have done is pled temporary insanity and hope that they'd let me off. And what I say all that is to say this is there's going to come a time, and I'm actually mentally already there. I just behave in society because it's expedient still to do it. But there's going to come a time where man's laws violates Yah's, which in my opinion, we're already there. And I really don't care about man's laws anymore. Just because something's legal doesn't make it right. And just because it's illegal doesn't make it wrong. And I will always put Yah's commandments above man's. And there's going to come a point, and we are at that threshold, that you're going to have to be disobedient to the laws of the state, to the laws of the world, the laws of the establishments, that just because they're established doesn't mean they were established for me to follow them. I'm not going to obey. And I would encourage you to civilly, as long as you can be civil, disobey them if it requires you to do things which would be disobedient to the 10 commands. And I hope that you understand and consider upon this matter of what I've said to you tonight is that if you look and you sound wisdom and you notice and pay attention to the people disappearing from in your presence and around us, it is starting to stack up. It is starting to be more and more. And I'm going to tell you, folks, there's going to be a lot less of us at the end of 2023. There's going to be a lot less of us before the scriptural turn of the new year in the spring. There's going to be a lot less of this world with each passing day because many people made a terrible, bad decision. And I hate it. And I'm going to tell you what, I have no intention of changing my course. Matter of fact, last thing literally on my mind, and much love to y'all. Shout out to y'all, and great stream tonight, brother. Lots of passion, lots of love, lots of truth. I appreciate that. Smoking Truth TV. Hallelujah. Absolutely. Loved everybody. Yeah, Tess, I agree 100%. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. But I will tell you this: whatever comes or goes, I have decided this, and me and my wife have talked about this, is that I may not make it in the kingdom. We need to have a real moment of our mortality and consider upon this, is that I may not enter into the kingdom. I may not be accepted a Messiah. I may stand before the judgment throne and he'd be like, I never knew you. That's the risk that I may face. But I will tell you this: to hell with this current state of things. It can freaking burn. Matter of fact, I've been so upset lately. I don't even want to talk about my behavior on certain situations lately, because I've just had it. I've had it with it all. I don't know if it's righteous indignation. I don't really know what to label it, but to hell with it all when it comes to Satan's kingdom and the current God of this little terra firma currently. I will not serve Satan. And if I end up burning with him, I still would rather be disobedient to this current state of affairs and help usher in the new kingdom than to be part of this dumpster fire called what right now. There is no other option. I have no intention of complying with the system, with the sovereigns of this world, and the so-called sovereign that has the prince of the air currently. I don't care. Now, I wasn't born a Hebrew Israelite by blood, but I love the true Hebrew Israelite because y'all. First off, I love them because y'all love them, and that's it. They're his chosen people. Secondly, I love them and my fellow Gentile brethren because I want to see all humanity saved. You know, Shem, Ham, and Japheth came off that ark, and our ancestors, depending on who you came from, were given portions of this earth to dwell in. Japheth to the north, Ham to a section, and Shem and Ham both got a section. All right, and we all were supposed to have a portion of this earth, and it has been given over to Satan because of what went down at the garden. But there, Messiah obviously is our key to the reset. And when Yah's kingdom, the Most High, comes back and this kingdom is established of his, we ain't gonna ever have to deal with that again if we're counted worthy to enter in. But to me, there's just not an option anymore. To me, is that I have one option in this thing, is to do what I can to help usher in the Father's kingdom, the Creator, the true Creator's kingdom. Now, he may not like me, he may not accept me, but I've just there's this template for how I conduct my life anymore. And I'm like, okay, people that say they're for the kingdom and people that say they're loving one another. I see this spirit in many so-called Torah communities and ministries and things like that, where that they just really don't practice what they preach, and they don't show love toward one another, and they don't show toward love to certain individuals. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fair enough, you do you. But I'm going to love my fellow man. I'm going to do the best I can to be kind to everyone around me that still is loyal to the Most High, y'all, regardless your skin color, where you come from. And I am going to do whatever I can to undermine Satan's kingdom whenever possible. And so if I have to die, and I really hope that I don't have to die, because I'll tell you this, it's not the fact of dying. Man, I've got a lot on my mind tonight. I've sat here and streamed with you over an hour, and I don't have a script in front of me. There's not a script in front of me. This is just straight off my mind. Is that to me, at this point, it's not the dying anymore that bothers me. It's the dying in an unrighteous state that is troubling unto me. I don't want to go out in an unrighteous state. I don't want to go out breaking any of the commands. I want to get this right. And we're being pushed into a corner where that every single day, every single decision we make, we have to stop almost and double check, am I breaking the Torah doing this, or am I okay? because we're being squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And the problem is that as that continues to happen, that makes me a very, very, very unkind and unhappy individual to be around. And it turns me into this like Viking slash monster that'll come get you in the middle of the night. Like that is what's I'm starting to catch myself being this person that I don't like to be. And that's the thing that's troubling to me. And we don't really have a choice because they're intentionally doing this. And you got to understand, folks, people are demonically, there's demonic spirits pushing people. There is certain individuals that they're just straight up wicked. There is people that just crave power and authority. Like there's just so many factors. There's people that crave money. And so because of that, they've done a lot of the things that's happened in the past couple of years for that very reason. For money. I mean, there was billions and probably trillions of dollars made in the past couple of years off of what's going on right now that we just discussed in this video tonight. But guys, I hope I've said something that is a help to you. You really need to go over to Odyssey and check out that 2-minute documentary shout out video that I done over there that got me a community guideline strike over here on YouTube. I hope this video doesn't get a community guideline strike because I have literally talked in generalizations the whole night. But you got to get smart about this stuff. You've literally got, I try anymore to just blend in society, and people think that I'm just another person out here on the street. Like people see my zits. I literally had a guy talk to me the other day, seen my zits, asked me what it was about. And I don't wear them very long, but he asked me what it's about. I told him it's like Numbers 15. It's about keeping the commandments. Ever since I read it, I put them on. And it's a great reminder. And right there, I was a witnessing tool too. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to keep doing me. This year, I'm going to do cruise control. I'm going to focus on the kingdom, my family, my happiness, and my own interest. And the world can go to hell. You know, as for me and my family, what was it? It was at Houston. General Houston said that, yeah, it was him, said he was going to go to Texas or whatever. Well, yeah, I'm going to go to hell, or I'm going to shoot for the kingdom of heaven, and the world can go to hell. That's where I'm at with it. So much love to everybody. Guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful night out there. And for those observing the Father's scriptural biblical calendar, I hope y'all have a wonderful Sabbath day tomorrow with your family and a day of rest. Y'all willing. And as always, until we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper Channel, guys, I hope the Most High y'all baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua name. Guys, have a great